Hi everybody, this is George with PriceSetter, and in this segment we're going to be covering the Real Estate Agent Control Panel and some of the things you can do with it. So to start off, we're going to go over your basic profile, then I'll be talking about how to set up your pricing parameters. Next we'll preview the confirmation number page, and finally the confirmation number search feature. So I've gone ahead and created an account just to show you what it looks like before it's filled out. Right here we have our basic real estate agent control panel. You can see at the top you have a link to access your profile. Then you have your 4 pricing parameter pages where you'll be able to input your pricing parameters. Next we have the confirmation numbers page, and then finally a tutorials link where you can find this video and others to help you out. So let's go ahead and click on the profile page here just to see what it looks like. Here on the right you have your basic contact information and a few other input fields. So we'll go ahead and start filling these out. Type in my first name, last name, phone number, and my email address is already here from when I registered the account. You can add a URL to your website if you have one. It's an optional feature. I'm just going to leave it blank for now. Company name, address, this is where I'm going to be operating from. City, state, and zip code. And then we come down to services. So if you're primarily just work as a residential real estate agent, you would select that option here. If you do both, you can select the both option. If you feel like you need to suspend your account for some reason, maybe you're going on vacation or your schedule's a little too busy or something, you can select the inactive option. Now when you select this option, your account is still going to be active, but you won't be participating against other active agents. So your account is basically going to be hidden from the search results screen. Finally, I'll input my agent license number and then years experience. On the left side here we have an option to upload a profile picture, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now it says for best results use a photo that's 400 pixels by 400 pixels in resolution, and that's just so that the picture doesn't look skewed or stretched in any way when somebody's looking at your profile. So let me go ahead and upload this picture I have saved on my desktop. Once I've uploaded my photo, you'll notice down here we have a little bio section where you can add a little bit more about yourself. So let me just type something up here real quick. Alright, once we've completed all of that, we'll go ahead and save everything on our profile. And then we'll go back to our control panel. Okay, we're back on the main page for the control panel, and you'll notice that because I selected residential under my services performed on my agent profile, that 2 of the parameter links have been removed from the control panel front page. Now we only have the links for pricing parameters for residential buyers and pricing parameters for residential sellers. So I'm going to go ahead and open the page for buyers. Across the top here we have a couple of notes that are specific to this parameter page and are pretty important. So the first one reads, for both asking fee amount percentage and bottom line asking fee percentage, your input should take into consideration the industry standard of 3%, which is 6% split 2 ways between the buyer's agent and the seller's agent. When determining the asking fee amount percentage, you must take into consideration that the buyer is using this website with the expectation to find a fee lower than what they would find with agents who are non-members of PriceSetter. Therefore, it is recommended that you input an amount lower than 3%. And the second note reads, it is recommended that all of your inputs contain at least 3 decimal values to avoid any ties with other competing agents. So you want to input 3 decimal places just to make it a number that isn't likely to be duplicated by another agent who's in the system. Okay, so let me go over some of the basic labels we have down here. Across the top we have a price bracket that lists the property selling price. So you're going to be able to set different parameters depending on the selling price of the property. Along the side here we have 3 different parameter labels. The first is the asking fee. Now this percentage is what you would normally charge as an asking fee based on the property selling price that's being taken into consideration. Obviously, as the price of the property increases, you may be more inclined to accept a little bit less of a percentage because your commission is likely going to be a high dollar amount. I'm going to go ahead and enter some values here just to give you an idea. Before we cover decrement percentage, we're going to skip down to bottom line asking fee percentage. This parameter determines the absolute lowest percentage you would accept as a commission based on the price of the property. So whatever you input here has to be lower than your asking fee percentage you entered above, because obviously it's going to be your bottom line. So let's make a few inputs here. Finally, let's introduce a parameter called the decrement percent parameter. So let's say you win an engagement against a competing agent because you had the best bottom line percentage when compared against them. Now, instead of giving out your bottom line every time you win, we have what's called a decrement percentage here to help prevent that. So the decrement percent is the percent you will go below your next closest competitor, who came in second place. Let's look at a quick example. Suppose that you've inputted 1% as your decrement percent. After being engaged by someone using PriceSetter and ending up the winner, your closest competitor has a bottom line asking fee percent of 2.886. Now, if we compare your bottom line with the next closest competitor, you're obviously the winner as yours is the lowest number. But look carefully here. You're beating the closest competitor by a difference of 0.173%, which is a difference of approximately $432 if we're talking about a property worth $250,000. That's a good chunk of change. So instead of giving out that $432 unnecessarily, you can still beat your competitor by applying the decrement percent parameter. Let's see how PriceSetter does the math. 2.886, which is the competitor's bottom line, is the whole, or 100%. So we're taking your decrement of 1% out of the whole, and we're left with 2.857. 2.857% is the final asking fee you will offer to your client. If you happen to input a value here that causes you to go lower than your bottom line, PriceSetter is going to detect that and automatically adjust the result to reflect your bottom line percentage. It's kind of a safety feature. Let's go ahead and fill these out, and then we'll submit to finish off our demonstration of pricing parameters for residential buyers. Once you've updated everything, you can go ahead and follow the same process for the other parameter pages if you wish. But just remember, if you don't complete them, you won't be shown in the search results page and people won't be able to engage you. We've finally come to the confirmation numbers page and the conclusion of this segment. I've gone ahead and simulated what it looks like when you get a new confirmation number. So you can see here it says that we've got 3 new confirmation numbers. So I'll go ahead and open the page. Once inside, you can see that we've got the 3 new confirmation numbers and the contact information for these potential clients. These people have already agreed to accept the asking fee that was presented to them, and they're ready to get in contact with you. You can see here what percentage they agreed to, whether they're buying or selling, the property type, the confirmation number, their contact information, the timestamp of when the engagement occurred, and who your closest competitor was. Also note that these confirmation numbers will be kept in the system for up to 15 days for your reference. But the offer made to the principal will expire in 7 days. Before we finish up the segment, I'll demonstrate the search feature real quick. If you want to quickly look up a confirmation number in the system, you can input the number here and then click search. So I'll do that. Now if the number is in the system, it's going to display all the information down here. If nothing pulls up, it's likely the number is either expired or it doesn't exist in the system. So that finishes up this tutorial. If you have more inquiries, feel free to check out our blog section for some how-to guides.